Mubarak for you is my prayer. May you keep ascending success. Stay Mubarak for you is my prayer. May you keep ascending success. Stay.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd. Fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Habiballah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabi Allah. Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nur Allah. Nawaitu sunnatal i'tikaf. Our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that a person who sends 1,000 times daily durood or salutations or salawat upon me, he will not die till he sees his place in Jannah. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salatam wa salaman alayka ya Sayyidi ya Rasulallah. Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. Alhamdulillah. We are sitting at the best place in the city. Masjid is the best place in the cities, in the towns of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's mentioned in the Hadith Mubaraka, Ahabbul biladi ilallahi masajiduha. Wa abghatul biladi ilallahi aswaquha. That best places in locations, in cities where people live are the masjids, the mosques. And the worst places in the cities are the marketplaces. The reason is that in a mosque, people come to worship Allah Azza wa Jal. They come to remember Allah Azza wa Jal. Whereas in the marketplace, a lot of people cheat each other. They speak a lot of lies. They do a lot of riba, interest-based business. They praise their goods falsely. And many opportunities of evil-sightedness. So therefore, the marketplaces are regarded as worst of the places, and masjid is regarded as best of the places. So you are sitting, according to Hadith Mubarakah, at the best place, because this is the house of Allah, and it is built to worship Allah. It is built to remember Allah. It is built to find the closeness of Allah Azza wa Jal. As Sayyidina Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu reports قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من بنى لله مسجدا بنى الله له بيتا في الجنة. The one who builds masjid, Allah Azza wa Jalla builds house for him in Jannah. So this is a wonderful practice. If Allah has blessed you with wealth, so you can build a house for yourself in paradise. But this opportunity is not only for the rich people or for the affluent. Actually, this opportunity is for every believer. In the commentary of this Hadith Mubarakah, the great masters of the science of Hadith, they mention that whether you build a full masjid or you give any amount of donation in the building of the masjid, this promise is for all of you. So a rich person could build maybe a full masjid. A poor person maybe could give 1 rand. So you have also contributed to build the house of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So whoever have made any contribution to build the house of Allah Azza wa Jalla, the promise of Allah is to give them a palace, a mansion, a house in Jannatul Firdaus. So alhamdulillah, lucky are those Muslims who build masjids, who contribute towards masjids. In another hadith, it is mentioned that there are 7 people. They will have the shade of the Arsh of Allah on that day when there will be no shade. And that would be the day of judgment. Number 1, Adil, ruler, the just king who does justice. And this would apply to every person who's in charge of any department. For example, a principal of a school, a manager of some business, because they the heads of they run it. So they are expected to be fair and just. So if that person is just, he will have the shade of Arsh of Allah on the day of judgment. And the second person who will have the shade of the Arsh of Allah on the day of judgment is that young man who worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his youth age. And number 3 is that person whose heart is in the masjid when he left masjid. He's waiting when the next opportunity comes for me to go back. He's waiting for azan to be called so I can go back to the masjid. So he'll have the shade of the Arsh of Allah on the day of judgment. So under the commentary of this part of Hadith Mubarakah, Sufi Ikram, the pious people, they have said, Mu'min, a believer, when he is in the masjid, he's like fish in the water. How easy and comfortable fish is in the water. So this is the condition of a moment, a believer, that when he enters the masjid, he feels, this is the place where I belong. And a munafiq, a hypocrite, its example is given that when he is in the masjid, he's like a bird in a cage. Bird in a cage is restless. Bird in a cage is always finding opportunity to get out of it. So this is the status of a hypocrite. But a believer, when he enters the masjid, he's happy, he's comfortable. So we should try to be in the masjid the more time that we can spend. Therefore, the advice is that we should not become those who come last in the masjid and run out of masjid first. We shouldn't be those type of Muslims. We should be the ones that who love to come first and leave at the last. So that our action will prove that we love this place. We love the house of Allah. We love to be here. We feel comfortable. We feel at home when we are at the masjid. So now this person who loves masjid, who loves to be in the masjid, he'll have a special gift on the day of judgment, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant him the shade of his arsh when there will be no shade. So we should love masajid and we should love to be in the masajid. It is mentioned in Hadith Mubarakah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that person who has eaten from the tree that smells bad, he should not enter the masjid. The scholars have said that this refers to raw garlic or raw onions. Because if you eat raw garlic or raw onions, the bad smell emanates from your mouth. And masjid is not the place where you should come in a way that you have bad smell on you. So even the scholars have said that people who have a habit of smoking constantly, their mouths also start smelling. So they must make sure that before they enter the masjid, they do miswak or gargle properly so their mouths are not smelling. Because it's mentioned in Hadith Mubarakah that they are angels. They have a very sensitive nature. That when there's a bad smell, they feel hurt. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made different natures for different angels. So those special angels who are appointed to be in the masjid, they're very delicate. They're very sensitive. So they are hurt when person brings a bad smell into the masjid. So always have nice fresh clothes, fresh wuzu, wash feet properly, and have some itar, as it is the common habit of Muslims. So this is what we learn from Hadith Mubarakah, that keep the place of worship, the masjid, clean, and it's mentioned in one Hadith Mubarakah, purified and mu'attar, that it must be fragrant. So when you enter the masjid, you must get good smell. So people must feel comfortable to be there, to sit at that place. So therefore the later scholars have said that you can decorate masjid and make them very comfortable, because now this is the lifestyle. This is how now people live. So you should keep and make masjid such a place that everyone who enters feels like sitting, feels like spending time. So all this we derive from a hadith of our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's another beautiful hadith. Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha reports that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has ordered us to make masjids in the homes. And he has ordered us to keep masjid fragrant. These are words in hadith mubarak, ay yunazzafa wa yatayyaba, keep them clean and keep them fragrant. Now, there are two explanations of this hadith mubarak. Scholars have said that it means that one area of your house, or maybe one room, should be declared as masjid. That's called Masjid-e-Bayt. That's where the ladies can sit for itikaf. And that room should be used for the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal only, not for any other reason. People these days, they make big houses and a lot of rooms for a lot of things. But one thing that many forget is to make a room for ibadat. It's very important. It's mentioned, it's encouraged in Hadith Mubarakah that you should do that. And our elders used to do that. When I was growing up, I was a small boy, I used to see in a lot of our homes, they should have a place where everyone will come and worship and read their ibadat. Nannies, dadis, grandparents, they used to do that. But that culture, unfortunately, is forgotten. And the other explanation of this hadith, which the scholars have given, they said if there are few homes of Muslims in some area, they should construct a masjid. They should not think, oh, there's a masjid that side, there's a masjid that side. Why there's a need to build masjid here? Some people get into these kind of arguments. But the hadith says that if there, the scholars have given numbers as well. They say even if there are 10, 12 houses of Muslims, they should make a small masjid nearby. So it's easy for them to have access and reach. And masjid is the place where you enjoy the ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You must have experienced this many a times when you read namaz at house, that the heart, the presence, the khushu and khuzu is not there. And you just want to finish quickly. But when you read at the masjid, the barakah is overwhelming and impresses you, your motivation increases, and there are so many others doing the same thing. So for you to read sunnats and reading nawaz with jama'at and extra nawafil and etc., all becomes easy. Same you will experience in the month of Ramadan for Taraweeh. Try to read 20 rakat Taraweeh at home. How difficult it is. But when you read 20 rakat with Jamaat, it's flowing. You don't even realize before 20 rakat are over and you're done with your ibadah. So it's very important that you have more and more masajid. As Sayyidina Abu Sa'id Khudri, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he reports that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, when you see someone taking care of a masjid, what it means, taking care of a masjid. Maybe he's cleaning the masjid. Maybe he's cleaning the toilet and wuzu area. Maybe he's paying bills. He's paying the bill of light and water. Decoration of the masjid. Painting of the masjid. If there's a leak somewhere, he gets involved and he wants to sort it out. Everything that happens. All these people are regarded, they take care of a masjid. Those who come and perform salat regularly in a masjid, they are also in that list, that they take care of that masjid. So now, what is the good news for them? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, when you see them taking care of masjid, be witness to their iman. Give evidence that they are believers. It's the faith, it's the belief that is leading them to do this what they are doing. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited this ayah karima, إنما يعمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة. And the meaning of this ayat is that only those people enliven the masajid who believe in Allah and in the day of judgment. So this is what they take care of the masjid. They build the masjid. They make the masjid abad. They come and attend regularly. They keep the masjid very clean, everything up to date. They take care of it. They pay the light and water. They make sure that masjid is not indebted. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the guarantee of their iman. How lucky they are. I mean, here we are trying to prove to people that I'm a Muslim, so people can believe in me and people can trust me that I'm a Muslim. But imagine the iman of that person, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives guarantee and He says he's a believer. And it is that person who takes care of the masjid, who looks after the masjid. That's why Hazrat Sayyidina Ali al-Murtaza Sher Khuda radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he used to give dua to Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiyallahu ta'ala. He used to say, "Oh Allah, put the light in the qabr of Umar, because he made our masajid lightful." Because in the time of Khilafat of Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he gave this riwaj that people should burn many lamps in the masjid. So in the night when people come, they must not find any darkness. So masjid would be shiny, glittering, full of light. So when the fourth Khalifa came and he became Khalifa, he used to make dua that Allah make the qabr of Umar full of light, because he made our masajid light. Imagine those people who pay money towards the bill of light and water. They're doing the same thing. They're making the masjids lightful. Bills are paid, that's why the electricity is continuing coming. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you pass through gardens, eat something from them. Gardens like fruit farms. It will be much easier for people to understand where there are fruits. When you pass through them, you should eat from them. Sahaba Ikram asked, Ya Rasulullah, what are those gardens? And what is the fruit? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, those are masajid. Those are mosques. They are the gardens of paradise. When you enter them, eat something from it. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, eating something from it means do dhikr of Allah when you're there. Do some nawafil, do some ibadah. If you are Muslim, even if you are an electrician, you inside to do some work, eat something from it. I mean, you will be doing your work, but come and do some dhikrullah, come do some nafil, and then complete your work. In fact, the scholars have said that every masjid that's built in the dunya, it would be lifted from the earth and taken into Jannah. Because they are the gardens of Jannah, they are the gardens of paradise. So because the earth would be destroyed, masjids would not be destroyed, because when Qiyamah will come, everything will be perished into pieces. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will lift the masajid and take them to Jannah. So this is the garden of Jannah where you are sitting. And a story comes to mind that when Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam built Kaaba, Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam worked with it. And they were breaking stones to make the bricks to build the walls of Kaaba. Now when they were breaking the stones to form them into bricks. Now some pieces were broken and they were falling. Some big pieces, some small pieces, when they were molding them. After they completed the work, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a very strong wind, and that wind picked up all the stones and spread them throughout the world. And wherever a stone fell, a masjid will be constructed at that place. And where a small stone fell, a small masjid will come up. Where a big stone fell, a big Jame masjid, Juma masjid will come up there. So who knew the taqdeer, the luck of this place, that this place is one of those places where a small stone fell. So Allah gave us tawfiq to build this small masjid. So this is not coincidental. This is in the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this masjid has come up. So people of the area especially deserve great Mubarak. Congratulations that Allah has given you a masjid in the area, and everyone who supported in whichever way, in construction, in legal work, in whichever way. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of you a beautiful palace in Jannatul Firdaus, as it is promised in Hadith Mubarakah. Jazakumullah. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Mubarak, for you is my prayer. May you keep ascending success stair. Mubarak, for you is my prayer. May you keep ascending success stair.